Marvelous greetings, and welcome back everyone to our Marvel Plus live reaction of Miss Marvel, titled
The Marvelous Ms. Khan.
Last time on Miss Marvel, I was right. I was so freaking right. I had predicted that her new mentors would turn out to be villains, and it's true. Because in the last episode, we got to meet the rest of Ramon's family, who it turns out are Djinn. And for those of you who don't know, Djinn is another word for genie, or at least, creatures that are like genies. These ones are from another dimension, and have been trapped here for about 100 years. And they need the help of not only Kamala's bangle, but a second bangle as well in order to get home. I mean, it sounds innocent enough, until you realize that they need the heat death power of 1,000 suns in order to do it, which may or may not destroy the world.
And oh yeah, they have no patience for, a wedding.
Unlike Djinn, who normally are very tricky, these guys just say, fuck it, we've been waiting long enough, let's just wreck an entire wedding and pretty much redo the red weddings, because why not? We're evil.
Gonna wreck it.
Which unfortunately led to Kamala getting in trouble and ruining her brother's wedding and outing herself to her best friend and basically causing a whole mess. But there may be light at the end of the tunnel, because it turns out her grandmother has excellent timing and decided now, instead of being extremely vague about everything, she's finally going to tell him the truth about the bangle. And that's what leads us to today's episode.
Seeing red.
Well, I was seeing red last episode, that's for damn certain. Yeah, these Djinn, man, like we've only had a day to think about what we just watched and everything, and I'm still annoyed with the end of last episode, how they just show right the fuck up and basically resort to intimidating thug methods by just attacking her. Because yeah, that's how you get what you want.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget the fact that it's just the beginning of the episode they meet, and they heel turn like that without so much as any sort of subtlety about it.
I know Disney has become notorious for the whole twist villains thing, and I guess they were trying to move away from that, but yeah, that whole process went way too quick, and they did not go about it well at all. Because it sucks, because the episode was going so well. It was really well written, and it was great seeing how a Muslim wedding is done, the traditions and stuff, seeing all the characters, connect with each other emotionally, trying to get each other through this time. But then they frickin' wreck it with that action scene, which I can barely call it an action scene because there wasn't really any good fighting.
And the greatest crime of all, we did not get to see Brown Jovi perform.
I know, frickin' blasphemy, man. I wanted to see Brown Jovi perform. This is bullshit. Ugh. But maybe we'll get something better in this episode. Because we know that Kamala will have to travel and might have to take her mom with her, which that will be an interesting conversation. So let's get started and see what happens when Kamala takes off around the world. And play. Okay, so how did she manage this?
First time from Pakistan. You're gripping that stuffed animal pretty tight.
Of course she brings the sloth.
How she speaks. I thought my daughter had lost her voice, except for asking for more Canada time.
I thought I wasn't allowed to speak. Unless laws of grounding are no longer applicable in international waters.
After you ruined your brother's wedding, really.
You really have this conversation with a guy in the middle?
However, because your nanny is very old, and she insisted on us coming to Pakistan, I think that we need to call a temporary truce. I don't know. Perhaps she can figure out,
I think y'all need to switch
whatever
seats.
it is that you've been up to lately.
I mean, it was easier than I thought to get on the plane, at least.
Kamala, you remember your cousins, right? Dr. Chacha's children?
Yes, Zenith and way you are taller than I remember.
You are still really short.
Oh, yours. Oh boy.
Hi, Mommy. It's good to see you. Welcome home, baby.
I know that look. I'm being polite, but God, I hate you right now.
Are you again on one of your strange diets?
Passive aggression, passive aggression.
Let's go tomorrow.
Were they out driving all night?
They probably showed up at like, what, 3 in the morning or something?
Yeah.
Oh, Maggie, we got so big.
Was the house always this big?
Yes, but it could
The dog's
use
named
a
after a
paint
condom.
job. Yes, and paint all over the shop.
It's a swanky place. It's definitely an artist's room.
Mm.
This is my young Aisha, your great grandmother.
She's pretty.
Am I...
A Djinn, of course. At least that is what my father told me.
How are you so casual about this?
I've had decades to come to terms with this.
It's just genetics. If you had lived like I have, lost what I have, you'll learn to find beauty in the pieces.
So she doesn't really have the answers either? Unless she's purposely being vague again.
Your cousins are waiting for you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were in here with someone.
Psst.
It's a napping pillow. Come on, get up. We have the whole afternoon planned. Lunch
Ain't
at
that
the
a
boat
bitch?
club
You
in
fall
1 hour.
asleep and you wake up next to a
Oh,
sloth.
I think I can eat.
Hello, To. Mala, please don't be weird. We're here to visit. The point is to visit.
I'm just calling her weird just because she's not getting up. Jesus, what's wrong with this family?
Can't believe you have to order off the patio menu. I was in the buffet inside.
Let me see.
Nobody told me about the no change policy. This stuff would taste a lot better in Jersey. Maybe after the Heritage Walk we can swing by the mall. We'll find something less controversial.
That's fine. You just stay with your cousin.
I think they would have told her about the dress code earlier.
Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late.
Yeah, it's no, the temperature.
Pani puri.
Mm.
You know what warm resisting death?
It tastes like death!
I think it's in your left.
On your left.
This is where some of Karachi's oldest residents live.
I like Florida.
Old Town is where many of the refugees first settled when they came from India.
That kind of seems like insult to injury to have a British building there.
That's the point.
We're going. Need us after? Stay safe, I guess.
Mm.
Hey.
You look lost.
That'll be $50.
Hey dude, look, picture. Do you like it? Take it. Only 1,500 rupees.
Of course. Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
It's yours if you tell me the directions to the train station.
Train station? Yeah, sure. Train station, you go left,
This way?
yeah, left, and then left again. One more left, and then right. Little bit right.
He doesn't know.
Okay, and then go around that donkey cart. You getting me? Yeah, left.
Of course.
Historical renovation, huh? Also interesting that they have that in English. Is that for our benefit?
Most likely. Of course, knowing she's under surveillance, she's gonna walk right in where she's not supposed to. Because that mask is totally gonna cover things. Thank you, Ant-Man. Who throws knives, honestly? But...
Now you.
Oh, shit.
was worse. Those glasses you tied on with that mask.
Are you following me?
I sensed the nur.
Parkour.
Do all masked Americans have superpowers?
Well, how do you know I'm not Canadian?
I mean, technically, Canadians are Americans too.
You're very
I think she
good
actually
at
literally
assessing
is from
your
Canada,
No one likes the outfit, huh?
though. Oof. Ouch.
Come on.
Gosh.
Ooh!
Ow. So it's got ninjas wandering here.
That Ninja Turtles?
To learn yours, huh? Donkey Kong?
Oh, burn.
Who are you?
This is awkward.
What are you? Come with me if you want to live.
What?
Just kidding,
Nerd!
There's someone you need to meet.
I mean, their whole conversation has been nerdy.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I see we're going to a seedy bar. You know, nothing suspicious about this.
Are you gonna murder me because I don't want to be the subject of a true crime doc right now?
Eh.
Relax. Sometimes you have to look beyond what's right in front of you.
Interesting.
Red daggers. Leading a Pakistani boy band.
Not quiet.
It's one of those secret societies.
Why is the hot and sour soup so red?
That's the color it's supposed to be. Did you American find a way to whitewash the Chinese food too?
Yes?
Yeah.
People finding a scarf long enough to cover that big mouth of yours?
For hundreds of years, that scarf has protected the identity of warriors willing to take on the mantle of the Red Tiger. The clandestines are not like the Djinn you've heard about in stories or religious texts. I mean, if Thor landed in the Himalayan mountains, he too would have been called a Djinn.
So, what are they?
Hopefully these guys don't turn around and betray her this time.
Are from another realm. This map shows you how our two worlds coexist. There are many dimensions around us that we cannot see. This is just one of them.
The veil, the clandestines. Even your powers are made of it.
If the clandestines use the bangle to tear down the veil, they'll unleash their world onto ours.
I guess the bangle summons those crystals from the other dimension.
Until there's nothing left of it.
I see. I was right.
That is why it is important to keep that bangle safe. In all the years and everything I've heard about that bangle, there was no mention of an inscription.
Do you know what it says?
It says what you seek is seeking you.
It's not ominous or anything.
Is that like an important message?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Assholes.
Get up.
They just attach their cuffs to like the ceiling.
No!
Police brutality! Police brutality!
Come on!
Though we established she can break them, why do you need the keys?
Let's go.
Great job, guys.
Let him go. He's not coming with us.
What?
He made his choice. Now he has to live with it. Let's go get the bangle.
Sorry.
Mother of the year, people.
I promise you my friends are nice, okay? You're going to really like them.
Hey, Kimo.
Hey guys, KSAO.
Your name is minced meat.
Meh.
We all go by nicknames here, right? Yeah. What's yours?
Sloth baby.
Meh.
Sloth Baby. Everyone, call her Sloth Baby.
Sloth Baby. Cool name.
Thank you. Thank you. At least someone appreciates it.
Alright, you ready for the best meal of your life?
Yeah.
You like biryani?
Yes. I've never really eaten it out of a bag before.
Is that like bagged curry?
Is it spicy?
Dry girl.
Mm.
She just asked me if it was spicy.
Here, everything is spicy. This is the third love interest we've gotten in the series so far. And we're only like 4 episodes in. What the heck? Just rename this to Everyone Loves Kamala.
Why are there so many toffee boxes everywhere?
I like toffee.
You liked them as a child. So I just kept them around just in case you came back. I may have eaten most of them along.
Old people and hard candies.
Yeah.
बैठिए अरे जरा बैठिए ये मसाज है और some plan to take out your frustrations on me. Maybe it is time for you to start considering coming to live with us in America.
I'm gonna ask her to move again.
I thought you went halfway across the world to get away from me. I just thought I'd share them with you. I didn't need your stories, Mummy. I needed my mother.
Maybe that is harsh, especially as a kid.
You had fun with your cousins.
Yeah.
She knows you're lying.
Sit, have a toffee. Yeah.
I swear it's not poison.
Strong teeth.
I can never eat toffees. It's like, ugh.
Those have been sitting around for God knows how long.
They're probably the consistency of cement at this point.
Answer to why it is.
Finally, she's getting some practice.
Your humanity links you to the matter of this world. It makes your abilities unique. There is history in every thread of this fabric. So you always remember where you came from. You're not alone.
Now we get a proper costume.
Am I a red dagger now?
It suits you.
Vince! Where did you all come from? I went for his secret base. Did they gas the place or did he?
I'm gonna say they.
You might want to run. Yeah. Don't mind us. Vince! Rude.
What the hell is...
God.
That must be the gaudiest truck I have ever seen.
It's like a garbage truck, too.
I think my family would call this Unga Pachka.
Dude, come on. You have powers, Kamala. You can at least, like, freeze them in place if you wanted to. Now I'm just waiting for a cabbage cart to go by. Oh, move! Move! Ah!
What the? Were those like microwaves in there?
Probably like ye old electronics. Use your powers, you might. This broke their fall. Whew.
Driving on the opposite side of the road, I'll just take it.
Oh no.
Oh, door.
GTA, motherfucker! Oh! All that soda! Oh! Oh no! You might as well be driving with your hand tied behind your back.
Don't you have any more daggers?
Yeah, I mean, he almost nailed her in the head twice, so what about them? Running, 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 running.
Parkour.
I was running, and I was running. And I ran so far away.
I ran and I ran and I ran. Oh, you see you're running? No, I ran and I ran and I ran. So you did a lot of running and no, I ran and I ran and I ran.
Now they use knives.
Whoa!
Well, that sucks.
Ah!
Now there's potential mentor.
Inflammable means flammable? What a country!
We have to help him.
Mother, it's too late.
I've seen people get way worse, but
Yeah,
sure.
seriously, he got stabbed in the shoulder there, and then thrown off on his back to the ground below, like a few stories. I don't think he's dead, but he's probably in a lot of pain, possibly
unconscious.
crippled. Yeah.
At least we're seeing some legit fighting now.
Nice one.
Ooh!
Flashback.
It's like Newark Station on a weekend.
Trains in India. They're like twice whatever you'll see in America.
Yeah, people.
Like this is a normal thing.
Yeah, people right on the roof, they right on the engine, they sit wherever they can fit.
Hold off on.
Like they have to tell each other to duck whenever a tunnel comes by. So we're just ending it there? Okay. Seriously, what is it with this show and the fight scenes? We start getting into some good shit and it's over like that. We spent more time chasing than we did actually fighting.
Then we got to soak in the scenery a bit. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And again, I question, how the fuck did they find them? Like, I guess maybe tracking them to said country, but they knew exactly where the hidden base was and everything.
Probably been there before.
I suppose. Now I'm thinking of Emperor's New Groove with Kronk. How did we get there, Kronk? Well, actually, when you look at the chart like this, it doesn't make sense. Okay, another episode that was kind of all over the place. Positives, though, I do like how they showcase Kamachi. Like, the place is really hopping. It actually kind of reminds me of New York City in a way. All the immigrants that ended up just settling there once they got on the mainland. I like, you know, the whole setting and everything. I like the running joke, like, all their food's spicy, because it's true. And I like her grandmother. Her grandmother seems like a nice lady. It sucks that, you know, she has that relationship with her daughter, but then again, if you grow up with people saying your mother's crazy, and she's like trying desperately to convince you that what she is talking about is real, I can see where the disconnect could be. Especially given how her mother is so logical minded and probably doesn't believe in any of that stuff. Not to mention, you know, she probably blames her mother for her father leaving because of her fantasies. I mean, I can understand that in a sense. And I mean, I do kind of feel bad for the mom. It just sucks that now she has that bias against anything strange. It explains why anytime Kamala does something odd, she, like, just rails into her about it.
So when's Paul Rudd gonna show up in this? For reals? Like, honestly, they have been hinting him all over the place.
Yeah, it was a good wall painting.
Yes,
I liked it.
Absolutely.
Nice quote to go with it.
I'm just surprised. Like I said, though, obviously, I am dumb tourist person who isn't even over there. I'm just viewing this. Was there British integration in Pakistan?
I think to a degree, because there were British colonies in India, and they pretty much established themselves wherever the fuck they felt like.
Just seems like with all that's been happening, all the Indian people would be trying to get away from them and trying to keep them out of Pakistan.
You would think, but you know, colonizers. Plus, you know, they might have come later on, too, you know, embassies and whatnot. So we have another secret society, the Red Daggers, which only consists of 2 people?
Maybe more.
I know, it's just weird that we only see 2 people in that one hidden place, unless it's like a sect or something.
That or, like, they take it in shifts to guard the place or whatever.
I don't know, that just seemed weird to me. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't have a lot to.
It's like these 2 dudes just decided to form, like, their own club. And it just happened to be very specifically catered to what Kamala needs to learn. Like, I'm sure they show up in the comics or something. There's probably more to them than that. Sucks that we only got to meet the mentor-like figure for, like, less than an episode, and then he dies, supposedly.
He can't be dead. I mean, like I said, he got stabbed right here, and then he was pushed on his back. Like you said, I think he's probably just unconscious and either in a lot of pain or, you know, potentially paralyzed.
But I'm also wondering, too, because they know all about the different dimensions and stuff. And part of me wondered if maybe they also descended from said dimensions, hence why they know so much. But if that were the case, we would have seen them showing off their powers, not just relying on knife throwing.
So now I'm confused. So rather than them trying to get back to their home, the clandestine are actually trying to turn our universe into theirs.
It's like the guy said, all the different dimensions actually exist simultaneously in the same space. It's just you got to go through the portals. The problem is in them opening the portals, that causes the rest of that dimension to leak into ours, thus taking over everything.
Yeah.
And I assume by virtue wipes out the other dimension. Because, you know, you can't exactly have 2 things existing in the same space. It's not in the way that I'm sure it was meant to. Again, I was kind of close. You know, I did say the world would end if they were to open that portal. I mean, sure enough, chances are the world will get wiped out if that other dimension takes over everything.
Replaced, yeah.
And that's not even addressing, like, everything, like, people included. If the Djinn can go back, I mean, theoretically she could too, since she's also Djinn. And I guess whoever else is descended from a Djinn?
Then again, they're making it out to be that the Djinn are very vague in what they actually are.
I know they made it clear that they're not typical genies like people think they are. They're basically like the Eternals when you think about it. They're just another, like, advanced alien race, but in this case, they're interdimensional beings. If they were in their own dimension, they might have access to their powers, but here, it's not the same. And the only reason Kamala has access is because she has the bangle, which I guess is a link between the 2 worlds. I mean, interesting explanation about her powers, that she kind of is, like, summoning the crystals from that world into this world as the conduits for when she fights. I mean, decent explanation, I guess. I mean, considering they said that they entertain the same space, so I guess it's kind of like earthbending, but through dimensions.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm just spitballing here. I would have liked to have seen her practice a little more with that, you know, before the bad guys took out one of the only people that knew what the heck her powers were about. But whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like I said, now we have a 3rd love interest in the Chemo or Kareem, whatever he goes by.
I don't even...
I won't lie, from the face upward, he kind of reminded me of Robbie from Cobra Kai.
He did! He really did.
I know. I had to blink twice. I'm like, wait, is that? No, that's not. He has an accent. That's not him. Kind of like in the back of my mind. But now I'm like wondering what the heck's gonna happen now. I mean, as far as her mom knows, they're just there to visit the grandmother. And once she gets out of this flashback or whatever the heck is going on at the end, then she's gonna have no choice but to escape back to America with her family. Assuming they get that far.
Well, first we have to see what the flashback entails.
It's probably going to show what the grandmother talked about, you know, where she got separated from her father, and probably showing her mother using the bangle and seeing that her daughter falls behind and uses her powers to create the star platforms, which helps her get toward where her father is. That's what I believe is what they're saying happened. But there's probably, again,
there's
more to it.
There's got to be more to it, yeah. There's probably going to be something that repairs her mother and her grandmother's relationship.
I mean, I don't think that'll happen, not unless, like, her mom actually sees for herself what really went down, and even then, she might not be accepting of it. Considering all of this is the reason why her family broke apart.
Yeah, but you know, these kind of things tend to be what wind up being what they use to repair these relationships.
I suppose so.
It's just so cliche.
There are parts about this I like certain parts of the writing is really good. Like I said, anytime there's dialogue between two characters, it's actually really good. And the same thing with them, showcasing the cultures, you know, showing Pakistani culture, Muslim culture, and everything. But I
think they have a real problem with conflict.
Yeah, because like I said, it's the fighting and action scenes that really falters. Like, we barely see her practice with her powers. We barely see her fight. Like I said, they spent more time on the whole chase scene than they actually did the actual, like, combat. And it sucks because it seems like those people might actually be pretty good at combat fighting and stuff, and I'd love to see them showcase more, but it's like, the scenes last only a few seconds at most. It actually makes me worried for the finale of this, because it has to end in a big battle. I mean, that's how all Marvel things end. I just don't see how, if this is any indication, how they're going to pull that off exactly, and unless she just suddenly knows everything about how to handle her powers and just goes into full-on OP God mode.
Why not?
I mean, at least she's getting more of her costume together. Because, I mean, we keep seeing her in these, like, promo shots, and I'm like, okay, so how soon before we get the whole ensemble? Or is this going to be one of those things where, like, she shows up at the very end in, like, full costume?
Probably. Then again, if we get another season, you know, she'll have it all ready.
And can we say real quick how stupid damage control's, like, handling of prisoners is?
I mean, damage control in general just seems stupid. They've got the, you know, tough guy act down, but they are so bad about how they conduct themselves.
It's like you arrest these people that obviously are very skilled in fighting, who might be magical beings or whatever the heck, and your solution for getting them to the prison or wherever the heck they were taking them to is to just handcuff them and put them on, like, sort of like a rail thing. Like, I half expected one of them to grab it and go, whee!
Zipline!
And then one of them ends up breaking it, so it's like, wait, were you just waiting for the right point? Did you just get lucky with doing that? Like, I don't know. Ugh. And then they just leave Ramon behind. It's like they went through that trouble to break him free and then carry him out, and then they're like, oh, just leave him. This is his punishment. I'm like, okay.
Well, they basically kind of used him to get them out.
I guess, but he was, like, knocked out, like, as soon as, like, the escape began. Plus, you know, that's sealing their fate, because it's like, oh, you left behind one of your own because of what you perceived as a betrayal, and then go after the main hero. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen at the end. I wonder what's going to happen with the love interest who likes the superhero who was spurned by his family is going to do, ultimately. Like I said, I know we were harsh in the first episode, but it's sort of proving my worries right, unfortunately, with just how unbalanced and inconsistent this show has been so far.
A little bit.
It's like, I don't want to hate this. I really don't. And it's not like I do, but it's frustrating. There are just, like, elements that I wish were done better, that I know could be done better. I mean, this is Marvel. We've seen movies with a lot of kick-ass choreography and immense fights of, like, the highest caliber. And so far, they've been, like, just dishing it out at, like, intervals with, like, nothing really flashy about it, aside from her powers. And even then, she doesn't fully utilize them. Like, seriously, she could have used them a dozen times during that fight and during the chase and made things end a lot sooner. They got about 2 more episodes left, so I'm hoping they turn this around a bit. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how she gets out of this particular situation. I mean, obviously she's going to learn something really important via the flashback. And then once she does, you know, she's going to have to go back home. She's going to have to get her family away because obviously those guys are going to hunt them down and kill them, you know, just to get through her. I kind of have an unsettling theory, like, what if they kill her grandmother?
I don't know.
Like, I hope not.
Seems a little off. I feel like her great-grandmother is going to be around. She hid from her family or something.
Maybe?
I don't know. It's hard to say. They don't really say a lot of...
I mean, we still have the mystery of the second bangle, because they indicated there were 2. Even the guy mentioned that, you know, he'd seen the bangle before, but it didn't have writing on it. I'm assuming her great-grandmother probably wrote that on herself, and she probably did find the second bangle and hid it. But we'll have to find out next time on hopefully a better episode of this, I hope.
It's episode 5. The 5th episode of the Marvel series seems to always be the one that is the most memorable, the one that kind of opens everything up.
I mean, at least it should strike a really hard emotional chord, because that's usually what they do around this point. Which I can imagine them doing well, because like I said, the dialogue and interaction between characters is what's strongest about this. So I feel like, you know, that part's definitely gonna ring true. It's the rest of it that I'm worried about. But we'll have to wait and see. So until next time, I'm Kat MacBerrie.
I'm Doug MacBerrie.
Yes, beware of a Middle Eastern food, because a lot of it is about 90% spice. So if you have a sensitive stomach like me, might want to steer clear. Or at least keep Miralax on hand. Because, whew, you will get cleaned out good.